Hello, my friends. I'm glad you are here. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders rest. For a little while, you do not need to hurry. You can just listen. Tonight is not for rushing. It is not for thinking hard. It is just a calm story, told slowly. For now, let your mind settle. Let the day soften, and stay with my voice. Tonight, I want to talk about football. Many people also call it soccer. Have you ever wondered why this game is so common? Why it appears in so many places? In big cities and in small towns, on green fields and on dry ground. Children play it with a real ball, or with cloth tied into a round shape. It can feel very normal today. We see it so often that we stop noticing it. But when we slow down, we can see a long human story behind it. So let's step back for a moment. Back before stadium lights, back before TV screens and printed tickets, back to a quieter world where most days were shaped by weather, animals, and work. In that older time, people lived close to the land. They walked more, they carried more, they repaired the same simple things again and again, and when the work finally ended, they still wanted one small thing that felt shared, something simple, something with movement. Long before large cities, people lived close to the land. They lived near rivers and small lakes. They lived near forests and open fields. Daily life was full of work. People searched for food. They carried water. They gathered wood. They repaired shelter. When the day ended, bodies were tired. Hands were rough. Feet were sore. But people still wanted time together. They wanted to feel like one group. In many early communities, people used simple play for this. They ran short races. They wrestled. They threw stones at a target. They danced in a circle. And sometimes they kicked a round object across the ground. It did not look like modern football. There were no painted lines, no nets, no uniform shirts, no fixed number of players. It was simple. A group of people, a rough ball, open space, a goal that everyone understood. Imagine an evening after harvest. The air is cooler now. The light is low. A small fire burns near the edge of a field. Some people sit and eat from a shared pot. Others stand and stretch their legs. A young person takes old cloth, wraps it tight, and ties it with string. It is not perfect, but it is round enough to roll. Someone taps it forward with a foot. It rolls over dry dirt. A child runs after it and laughs. Another child joins. Then older boys join. Then a few adults step in too, careful at first. Hands were busy all day with work. They carried, they pulled, they lifted. But now feet move across the ground. People turn, they stop, they run again. They watch each other and react. In that moment, many eyes follow the same rolling ball. People share the same small focus. After many seasons, people kept doing this. And when people repeat something, it becomes familiar. It becomes part of life. In many places, communities shaped these games into traditions. Some played during festivals. Some played after harvest. Some played when visitors arrived. The game also helped people learn about each other, not with speeches, with action. Who runs fast? Who stays calm? Who shares the ball? Who gets angry too quickly? People remembered these moments. They remembered a good pass. They remembered a sudden run. They remembered a moment when someone slipped in mud. Later, they talked about it while cooking, or while fixing a roof, or while cutting wood. As time passed, people moved more. They followed rivers. They searched for safer land. They traveled for trade. When people migrate, they do not carry only food and tools. They also carry habits, songs, ways of cooking, and small games. A traveling group might arrive near a village that already exists. At first, there is distance. People watch each other carefully. Strangers look different. They speak differently. But then, near the edge of the settlement, someone starts a game. A rough ball appears. A few young people begin to kick it back and forth. Local children come closer. They stand and watch. Soon they step in. They do not need many words to join. They only need to understand one thing: keep the ball moving. Trade helped this spread even more. When trade grows, roads grow, markets grow, travel becomes more normal. Picture a busy market area in an old town. There are baskets of grain, there are jars of oil, there are cloth bundles and small tools. A trader sits down to rest. A local worker rests too. Their backs feel heavy from carrying loads. A boy rolls a ball made of tied cloth across a clear patch of ground. He kicks it. A second boy tries to stop it. Two men watch and smile. One steps in and taps the ball back. It is a small game at the edge of the market. People talk nearby. They trade. They pack bags. And for a short time, the game fills the empty space with movement. As the game spread, it changed. Different places used different rules. Some allowed more pushing. Some used hands sometimes. Some played with many people at once. Some played with fewer. But the basic pattern stayed similar. People run. The ball moves. Groups compete. Other people watch. Then larger powers grew. Kingdoms and empires expanded. They controlled roads. They built forts. They moved soldiers. They collected taxes. When large powers spread across many regions, people from different places met more often. In one town, you could see different clothing. You could hear different accents. You could see travelers next to local families. And games moved through these same streets and markets. In these mixed places, games spread faster. A soldier sees a local game and joins. A worker learns a new rule from a visitor. A traveler carries the idea to the next town. Over time, some communities wanted clearer order, not because they wanted to remove joy, because large games can cause fights when rules are unclear. So people began to agree on basic rules: where the game starts, where it ends, what counts as a goal, what is not allowed. This did not happen in one day. It happened slowly. One town copies another. One group keeps a rule because it worked well. Now we come to a hard chapter, but we will keep it calm. As towns and cities grew, life was not the same for everyone. Some people lived behind strong walls and solid doors. Some people lived in small rooms near smoke and noise. Some people had time to rest. Some people worked until late every day. You could see this even in the way people played. In one town, there might be a clean, open ground near the center. Grass is cut short. The space is wide. People with status play there. But near the edge of the same town, other people play in narrow streets. The ground is rough. Carts pass by. Work does not stop just because someone wants to play. In some places, the people in charge paid attention to these games. A local leader might choose the place and the time. He might stand near the start so everyone can see him. He might let one group use the best ground and tell another group to stay back. And when life felt tense, a big game could calm a crowd for a while. People do not forget their problems forever, but for a short time, many eyes follow the same moving ball. People talk less, they wait, they watch, they react together. There is also the work behind the game. To play, you need space. If a town wants a real field, people must prepare it. They clear stones, they flatten rough ground, they cut grass, they place markers. After many games, they fix the space again. In the modern world, large stadiums need even more work. Many hands build them, many hands clean them, many hands take care of the seats and gates. Some workers are paid well, many are not noticed. Competition can also become intense. When groups compete, pride grows. Pride can bring people together inside one community. But pride can also make people treat outsiders badly. Still, through all of this, the game continues because it is easy to start, because you need very little, because it can fit into daily life. Then the world changes again in a major way. Industry grows, machines spread, cities become larger, work becomes timed and controlled. Many people work by the clock. A bell or a whistle can mark the start and end of a shift. People spend long hours in crowded rooms. They do the same tasks again and again. After that kind of day, people wanted open space. They wanted a short time outside the workroom. They wanted to run and turn and feel the air on their face. A running game helped. Football fits this well. It is fast but simple. 2 groups, 1 ball, clear aim. As cities grew, local clubs formed. Workers played on free days. Students played after school. And now rules become more fixed. When teams play across different towns, they need shared rules. If rules change every time, games turn into arguments. So written rules become common. Referees become common. Clear boundaries become common. Then communication grows. Newspapers carry match results. Radio carries voices. A voice talks about the game as it happens. Television carries moving images. Now you do not need to stand near the field to follow the game. You can hear it from home. You can see it from far away. And even inside the modern game, the basic structure stays the same. There are 2 teams. There is 1 ball. There is a clear space where people can see what is happening. For a moment, many people become quiet. They watch the same movement. They wait for the next pass, the next run, the next shot. They focus on one simple question: where will the ball go next? As the world becomes more connected, people move more. They move for work. They move for safety. They move to join family. And when people move, they bring the game with them. A family arrives in a new country. The children feel unsure. They do not know the local language well. School feels difficult at first. Then, in a park, they see a group playing football. They stand at the edge. They watch. Someone gestures for them to join. They run in. They make a simple pass. They understand the game without long talk. It gives them something shared right away. At the same time, the game grows a larger world around it. Not only the field, but the gates outside the field. Some people pay for a seat and wait in long lines. Some people sell food and drinks near the entrance. Some shirts carry a company name. Some signs carry a company name too. Money can help a team travel, practice, and bring new players. But when one club has far more money than another, the match feels harder for the smaller club. One team arrives with more staff, more training time, and more support. The other team arrives with only what it can afford. But the simple game still exists, away from cameras, away from sponsors. You can still find it in its basic form. A few kids, a narrow street, 2 stones set down as goal markers, a worn ball that has been repaired many times. No special clothing, just movement and focus. And even now, the game can move with people. You need a space and something that can roll. After work, people can play for a short time and feel close to others. In a new town, the goal is still simple. Keep the ball moving. Try to reach the goal area. And now, information moves very quickly. In the past, if something happened in another town, most people did not know until days or weeks later. A traveler had to arrive and tell the story. Now, a match can happen in another country and many people can watch it almost at the same time. They can hear the voice on the radio or on a screen right away. They can see a replay right away. So next time you see a football, pause for a moment. It is round and simple. You can hold it with 2 hands. You can place it on the ground. You can kick it forward. You can think about people long ago near a small fire after harvest. Tired bodies, simple food, a cloth ball rolling over dirt. You can think about the edge of a market where workers rest and traders sit close by. A quick game starts and ends in a short break. And you can think about today, a park, a schoolyard, a street, a field. People still run after the same simple object. They still share the same simple focus. In many places, football has been part of joy, pride, work, money, and belonging. But in its simplest form, it is still easy to understand. People move together around one moving ball. Now take another slow breath. Let the story rest. And when you notice the game again in daily life, think about the many people before us who also ended a hard day by running, laughing, and kicking something round. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.